It's time to gas up the invisible jet and get ready for some 1980s nostalgia. Hello everyone and welcome to Movie Reviews by Josh. My name is Josh Terry and today I would like to talk about Wonder Woman 1984, also known as Last Movie Standing 2020. So of course this is the sequel to the Wonder Woman original from a couple of years ago. Patty Jenkins did it, Gal Gadot played Wonder Woman, and she fought the God of War Ares in kind of a traditional DC CGI third act. This time around things are a little bit different, and for me they're a little bit better because this time she's got a couple of different foes, and there's kind of a theme and a tone this time around, and not just because of the 1980s nostalgia, but there's kind of a human nature tone to this one, and a theme that I think really works well. Basically what happens is Diana comes across this ancient stone that at first she thinks is just kind of this throwaway phony that somebody's trying to pass off as an antique, but then it come to find out it's actually kind of a dream stone. Like if you touch it and make a wish, it actually comes true. And she and a couple other people know about this, and that's where the conflict for the film happens, because one of her colleagues at the Smithsonian named Barbara Minerva, who's played by Kristen Wiig, she finds out about it, and of course she's kind of this character who's obviously doesn't get the same kind of attention from men that Diana does, and so she's a little bit more of a wallflower, doesn't have the same amount of confidence, and so she sees an opportunity through this dreamstone to really kind of come into her own. In fact, she actually wishes to have Diana's powers, not realizing what those powers actually are. The third candidate's a little bit more dangerous, a guy named Max Lord, and he is a failed businessman, failed oil tycoon, who's kind of a Ponzi scheme con artist, and he sees an opportunity to finally realize his ambitions and become wealthy and powerful. And through all this, there's a theme of the movie's kind of addressing our current, even though it's 1984, it's addressing our need for instant gratification. In fact, there's a flashback scene that the film opens with when Diana's a child and she has to learn about not taking shortcuts, and that if you really want to be successful and if you really want to do what you're capable of in life, if you want to really succeed, you have to put in the work and you have to put in the time. And I think that's a really, let's say a better word, timely message in this movie, and I think one of the things that really makes the movie work is really interesting. So of course things progress, and eventually Wonder Woman has to square off against both Barbara and Max, and it's a bit of a complicated plot, and made even more complicated by the fact that when Diana has a chance to make a wish, and she doesn't even realize that she's doing it, she brings Steve Trevor back to life, played by Chris Pine. And so if you're kind of wondering how he managed to get back into this movie because he died in the first one, that's how it happens. So it's a pretty complex plot. There's a lot of moving parts, and one of my criticisms from it is it feels a little long. By the time you get into the third act and by the time things are wrapping up, it's been going for about 2.5 hours, and so I think it's a little bit lengthy. There's some other little things that I could pick at here and there, but overall I would still give this 3.5 stars out of 4. It's very well done. It's very entertaining. There's some fun with the 80s nostalgia, but it's not overwhelming, and I actually really like the way that they approach the themes, and that they try to really kind of look at this idea of, what are we willing to sacrifice for what we want most? Are we really willing to realize that what we want most may not be what's best for us? There's some searching stuff here, even though it's kind of a slightly campy superhero movie. One thing I really appreciate about Wonder Woman 1984 is that it continues to push the DC movies into a positive direction in terms of kind of the tone and the style. Not that it's suddenly all crazy and funny and happy and kind of like the original Superman movies from the 70s, but you can get the sense that people are having more fun. They're having a good time. Things aren't as dark and oppressive as they were. Even in the first Wonder Woman movie, I felt like there was still kind of a dark tone that wasn't entirely necessary. It worked and it was cool, but I like that Wonder Woman 1984 seems to be kind of getting its own sense of place, and kind of this world building that's getting away from more kind of the Christopher Nolan, Zack Snyder dark style, and getting into something that I think is more appropriate for the character. So like I said, I would give Wonder Woman 1984 3.5 stars out of 4. Really good, solid movie. Now, you're going to have to make up your mind as far as whether you feel comfortable going out to the theater to see it, whether you want to get the subscription to HBO Max in order to stream it. Those are the two options starting on Christmas Day. But at some point, I think it's definitely worth watching, and it's nice to have kind of a bigger movie actually come out in 2020 to have an option to see. Wonder Woman 1984 is rated PG-13, mostly for just kind of your CGI action violence. I would rate this as a pretty soft PG-13. There's some mild, more sensual content than sexual content, and very little in terms of profanity as well. So, I don't know if I would show it to little kids necessarily, but as far as PG-13s go, Wonder Woman 1984 is a little on the softer end of the scale. So who's your favorite Justice League superhero so far? Leave your answers in the comments below. Thanks everybody for watching. This has been Movie Reviews by Josh. My name is Josh Terry, and I'd be so grateful if you would subscribe to my channel on your way out. Leave your notifications on so you can see our new videos as soon as they're posted, and have yourself a great holiday season. Take care.